Professor Chaloupka, you feel it's important for countries to increase taxes on tobacco. Why?
We know that if countries increase taxes on tobacco, it's going to lead to significant improvements in public health. When taxes go up and prices go up, we see adult smokers try to quit using tobacco, very effective in keeping kids from taking up tobacco use. And as a result, you get many fewer illnesses caused by tobacco, many fewer premature deaths. So it has this really positive public health impact. And then at the same time, when you raise tobacco taxes, it generates new revenues that the government can use to support other tobacco control efforts, other health promotion efforts. So very win-win in terms of public health and revenue impact.
But won't higher taxes further burden poor people and hurt business?
There are concerns that when you raise taxes, it's going to lead to an adverse impact on the poor. We know that in most countries, it's the poor that are most likely to smoke. But we also know that when you raise taxes and prices, that the poor are also the ones that are most responsive to price increases. So you see the biggest reductions in smoking in the lowest income populations, which has a very progressive health benefits. And then we know that if you take some of those revenues that are generated from the tax increase and use that to support programs to help poor smokers quit, other sort of health promotion efforts, that you see this really positive health impact in the lowest income groups. When it comes to the impact on business, there's a lot of myths around how increasing taxes affects the business of tobacco. What we know is that there are reductions in tobacco use, and there will be reductions in employment related to tobacco, tobacco growing, tobacco manufacturing. But at the same time, the money that people were spending on tobacco products gets spent on other goods and services, creates jobs in other sectors of the economy. And that the government has these new tax revenues, they're going to spend those, that's going to create jobs in still other sectors. And what we end up with is a net positive impact on employment in response to tax increases.
Do tobacco tax increases lead to more smuggling and illicit trade in tobacco products?
That's another one of those myths. There's a perception that if you raise taxes, it's going to cause a black market to grow up in tobacco. But if we look around the world, what we see is that the countries that have some of the lowest taxes and prices are the countries that have the biggest problems with illicit tobacco. And the countries with the higher taxes and prices actually have relatively little illicit trade in tobacco. So it's not tax and price that are driving the illicit market. It has a lot more to do with the strength of governance in countries. So we see big problems in countries where there's a lot of corruption, where there's weak tax administration, very little enforcement of tax laws. Those are the countries that have the problems. Then the countries where they have high taxes tend to have stronger governance that do a much better job of enforcing their tax policies, much stronger tax administration. So it actually works the other way around in contrast to what people think.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.